Welcome everyone to week 3 of Ready, Set, Launch. I hope this last week, week 2, really challenged you and got you out there being uncomfortable, finding ways that you could serve other people. And this week is when all the pieces are going to start coming together with that, with how to present and how to teach a class. So on week 3 here, I want you guys to just know in your heart that you guys are the connectors. Now, you can't say how someone is going to receive the message that you're giving them, but that's what you're here to do. You're not here to know all the answers. You're here to be the connector of hope, truth, and alternative way of health. Let the oils do the heavy lifting. Let our reference books be the expert, and let the people you're talking to be the ones to decide if this is something they're ready to take the next step in or not. This week is all about how to present, and if you follow these simple tools, you are going to be able to present like a pro, because a pro just comes from the heart, and that's what we're talking about here, is being able to teach a class from the heart. Now, I want you to watch this video about holding a successful class here. And this is everything in the a little checklist of what you need to teach a class. Truthfully, you guys, you don't need much. Now, if you have a class in a box, you can use that. And she's going to share with you how to utilize that and share that ways to use it a little bit more. But I want you guys to know that as long as you have the top 10 oils at your fingertips, you can teach a class anywhere that you want to, because otherwise you can access everything online. So you can do these as a PowerPoint. You can do these just meeting with people, and we're going to give you a few ideas below. Now, what I want you to do, I want you to watch this How to Teach a Successful Class. This is the video that doTERRA puts out there on how to teach the Natural Solutions class from the actual handout from the Class in a Box. Now, Class in a Box also comes with a DVD. The great part about this, you guys, if you're nervous in front of people, if you're a little bit more of an introvert, you can always just push play on this DVD at any time, and you will be able to teach a class or find where you left off or see where you need to be next. So guys, it really can be that simple. Now, what you really want to do in these classes, you guys, when I very first started, I thought I had to know words like sesquiterpene and monoterpene and be able to explain within a cell how these reactions were happening. You guys, most people don't want to know that. And in fact, if you teach this way, that's totally great. I think it's awesome if knowledge is your thing and you like to share that information. But just know, when other people see you teaching that way, they're not going to think that they can do it. And they're not going to find it as duplicatable. And they're not going to feel like they can teach and join and become a business partner with you, because they're going to want you teaching all of their classes. I can't tell you how many diamonds in doTERRA I've talked to that have said, the problem with what happened for me is that I started to have to teach all my classes for everyone because I wasn't teaching them to duplicate it themselves. You guys, if you follow this outline, anyone on your team, anywhere, will be able to teach a class, including you. If you're brand new, don't even worry about it. This will step you through it all. Now, I'm not going to go over too much of it. I want you to read through all of this. But you're going to see hyperlinks here that if you click on those, it's going to open up a video in YouTube so you can kind of see how this goes. Now, once you practice this a few times, what I want you to do, I want you to read it out loud. Even better, copy and paste this into a Word document and put your own spin on it, put your own personality into it, and then practice reading that. When I went to teach my very first class, I remember that I had taken notes. Watching my upline teach a class, I had taken notes, and then I just practiced that class again in my head, again and again and again, until it started to feel a little bit more natural. Even to this day, I can't even tell you how many classes I've taught, but they're all so different. And they all go off on different tangents, and each one is unique in itself, and some are better than others, and that's okay. You do the best that you can, and as long as you're teaching from the heart, it really does all work out in the end. So you're going to see all the links to the different videos here, the different topics that I like to go over, And then you can see right here, I go over the top 10 oils. Now in any basic oils class, I only talk about the top 10 oils, you guys. More than that, and it's like giving people a drink from a fire hose. It's too much. So unless you're doing a specialty class where you're talking about all the other oils, or they have a specific health concern they want you to go over, just stick to the top 10. Also, this lets people know that if they want to partner and do the business with you, with that home essential kit, they'll be able to do the exact same thing you're doing. This also sets people up that they can get started in their own home with the top 10 oils. So it's a great way to introduce them to any health ailment. Can mostly be covered by those top 10 oils unless it's something special. So it's a great way to only teach from the top 10 when they first begin, and you can get into other ones later or as needed. Now, at the end of the class with the oils, we always teach about lifelong vitality. Now, if you haven't tried it yet, this is something you definitely need to put on your LRP order and get trying right away. This is actually the only product doTERRA has that has a 30-day money-back guarantee. You can return the empty bottles of this product if you don't feel a difference. Most people say that they feel more energy, they're getting better sleep, they have less pain when they start taking these vitamins, because our bodies are so deprived from just the basic nutrients they need to be functioning well. And so that's why people feel such a difference. They also have 9 of the most healthy inflammatory essential oils in the actual pill. So you're getting a healthy dose to help keep that healthy inflammatory response. So I want you guys to watch these 2 videos. One is by Dr. Josh Axe. You may have heard of him before, but he explains lifelong vitality in a beautiful way that talks about them being a whole food substance and more easily available for our bodies to absorb. The other one is the Empowered Life series by Justin Harrison. Now, Justin Harrison is everybody's in doTERRA's upline. He is one of the 2 master distributors. So he has been with doTERRA since the beginning when they very first came out with this. So make sure you also watch his video and get some information about lifelong vitality. Now, what I want you guys to do as you are listening to these videos, I want you to write out the 3 different vitamins, the fish oil, the vitamin, and the Alpha CRX, which is the cellular longevity blend. I want you to write out a 1 sentence or 2 for each one of them. What I want you to do is I want you to have a 3-minute explanation of what these vitamins are in your own words after you've watched these videos that you can naturally share with people while you're in a class. Now, it's really important. I always share about these vitamins at every single class, no matter what. So you need to find a natural way that it works for you to be able to share these with people because they make such a difference in lives. Now, at the very end of a class, my timer goes off, and I've put information about there. I always time for 45 minutes to a class. I'm very strict about my time when it comes to doing a class. This is because I want people to know that I respect their time, that they're there with me, and also because at the very end, when we talk about how to close a class, which will be our information for next week, we're going to talk about closing and enrolling. It's very important that we respect people's time because we're going to be going into the business half at the very end. And I like people to know that I keep my promises when it comes to time. So at the very end of a class, after you talked about lifelong vitalities, your timer goes off. That's when I move into the giveaway. Now, I always do a giveaway at every single class. This is because I want those leads to be able to tap into people's networks. You don't know who's sitting there in a class going, oh my goodness, this makes so much sense. I want to share with my family and friends. You don't know unless you ask. I've had some people sit in classes with a stone cold face on. I had no idea what they were thinking. And then I got their drawing slip and saw that they were interested. So here's an example of the drawing slip that we use in classes. It asks if they're interested in oils, if they're interested in a wholesale account, which you will learn next week in the close, how we present that, their names, emails, their best way to call you, and if they want to host a class to earn free product. Now, I want to show you guys a little example about how this giveaway goes. And you can see down below, I have an example of a real life class and then a full class script. If you see that purple button down at the bottom, you guys can click that. It's going to bring up just pretty much an entire script that you can edit and change to be your own. But when it's time for the giveaways, what I like to do, first thing, I like to invite the host of the class up to the front. And I will have something for that host. Now, you guys, these giveaways or hostess gifts don't have to cost a lot. They can be a body scrub that you made. It can be the wild oranges from the class in the box. It can be a On Guard cleaner concentrate. Or it can be the $20 intro kit that you did that have the lemon, lavender, peppermint. You can give them one of those. But what I like to do is I call the host up to the front and I say, I want to thank Mary so much for letting me in this evening to share with you guys why essential oils are so important to me and my family. Thank you, Mary, for letting me be here just for hosting. I have a really special gift for you because I know you had to clean the house and get everything ready, and you introduced me to all your wonderful friends, and it's just been so much fun to meet them. I have this free for people that host classes with me, so thank you so much. Here is your gift. Thank you, Mary. Now, I also like to give something away for free for you guys for being here, for spending the last hour with me. So I have these drawing slips here. Now, I'm going to be drawing out one person who's going to be getting this free, whatever you decide you want it to be. They're going to get this free item. Now, if you're interested in hosting a class and also getting a free item like Mary did, because it's just, as you guys have found out, it's just a fun educational night to learn more about essential oils. Go ahead and mark yes on your paper, and anyone who marks yes is going to get a second entry into our drawing to win the free item. So give them a minute, let them fill out their drawing slips. Then I go around one by one, collect their slip, see if they've marked yes. And sometimes even in class, I give it to people who have marked a maybe. Because a maybe just means I need to look at my calendar, but chances are you could talk me into it. A lot of time I let people with maybes too. I hand out another drawing slip and said, oh, perfect. Jo said that she would host a class. Here's another drawing slip. Just write your name at the top. You don't need to fill it out. So you're going to get 2 entries into the drawing. Well, what this does is now Jo's friend across the room is sitting there going, well, if Jo's willing to do it, I could do it. I mean, if she's going to bring her friends together, we live in different neighborhoods, I could do it. I want to teach my friends. I want to share with my yoga friends. I want to share with my mommy group. I want to share with my Red Hatter Society, whatever it may be. I want them to do this too, so they are more likely to sit and answer yes. It's kind of a social acceptable thing when we see other people doing it. We want to do it too, and we want to help out. So you go around the room with every single person very quickly. Just grab them. Oh, she marked yes. She marked maybe. Here's another slip. Pick the drawing giveaway. And now what you've done is that you've made it so people are wanting to do it. They're excited to win this item. And you now have different information on how you can contact them and set up the following month or the following weeks to teach classes from your classes. You guys, this is really important that you do this at every class. Something that I see that happens to people sometimes, they'll teach a class, they'll ask a friend, and it stops there. They're not booking classes from classes, tapping into other networks, and letting other people share and know about these oils. So don't forget this at the end. I found this really helpful to be able to follow up with people, to get their information, and to see where they really sit on wanting to know more about essential oils. Now, underneath this giveaway, you guys, this is non-edited. Please do not judge me in any way. This is us teaching a real class. This is Andy. It's my sister here in the video. This is one of the classes that she did at her house, and you're going to be able to hear how we split up the class. So when someone's new to learning about essential oils, sometimes I will come and help them just teach half the class. They teach a portion and I teach a portion. But what I want you guys to see from watching this class, number one, you're going to be able to follow along with the script, and notice that it's not always perfect. We don't follow along with it perfectly. We interject a lot of our own personality in. The other thing you're going to notice, a little kid runs in their underwear. We have a guy sitting over to the side who keeps talking negatively about things. I don't know why. He kept talking about how he doesn't like the taste of On Guard throat drops or just weird little things. And that happens in classes, you guys. We have people that show up late. These things are going to happen in your classes, and it's okay. And you roll with it and you let it go, and a kid may be crying in your class, and someone may show up late, and someone may keep talking in a class, and you just make light of it, and you just keep sharing from your heart. Because even though this class had so many hiccups, you're going to be able to see it, it did $1,400 in sales that night. And 2 people had signed up to be new sharers just from that class. You never know what is happening. Get out there, do your best, share from the heart. And if hiccups happen, that's okay. That's real life. And these classes are going to be real. So just some quick tips. Keep it simple, you guys. You want people to look at you and think, hey, I can do that. And if you're too elaborate, they don't feel that way. So if you feel like you have to have a projector up on the wall projecting all these slides, and you have all this food in the back for dinner, someone isn't going to be able to host that. I've even gotten down to the point now, you guys, at my classes that we serve lemon water. That's about it. We have a pitcher of water with some glass cups, and people can add whatever drops of oil they want into it to try. Now, if we do a treat, we do something super simple, like brownies with a few drops of peppermint in it. Because you need to keep it simple. Let people who may want to host a class to teach their friends that they do not have to do something crazy and over the top and elaborate. Let them know to keep it simple. People are here to learn. What you're giving is reason enough to come. So another thing, it's nice to have one wellness advocate to every 3 to 4 guests. If you are teaching this alone, know that it is a successful class if you have 3 to 4 people that come. So remember, your class doesn't have to be huge. This allows you to address people's health concerns and help them pick out what's right for them. I've noticed in classes that have 30 people in a class, you can't physically get to everyone and answer all their questions personally. And a lot of people slip through the cracks, and that takes a lot more following up on your part after the class, hoping that you did that giveaway correctly and you have their information. Remember, that's why it's important. But remember, it doesn't need to be that huge. 3 to 4 people is a good size class for one person. More than that, and you are going to be rushing all night trying to talk to everyone. Another thing is that you're going to want to have a modern essentials book there. Allow them to be empowered. All the times in a class, people will ask questions. Sometimes I know the answers, sometimes I don't. But I try and always make the answer the same. That is a great question. Here is this book. It's called The Essential Life, or The Modern Essential. It's called The Essential Life. Would you mind looking it up in this book? And I'll come back to you in just a minute. Will you share what you found in here? You're giving people the tools. You're teaching the man how to fish. And that's the purpose of these classes. Don't have all the answers, even if you know them. They already see you as an expert. You're there teaching the class. Let them call on the book. So when they are in the middle of the night needing an answer, they know where to find the answers. You're going to want to give each person in the class, I like to give them a pen so that they're able to take notes and to fill out the form at the end. That's really important. Make sure people have a pen to fill out your drawing form, to fill out the Wellness Advocate form at the back of the Natural Solutions class paper. So have that with you. And also, if you need to, let your upline help you with your first class. If you are nervous to do it yourself for the first time, let them help you. Whether that's practicing with you over the phone, speaking about it, whether you set up a camera and let them watch you do it so you can get the nerves out, or whether they live close to you and can actually come to your house like me and Andy did, where we each taught sections of the class, let your upline help you. That's what they're here for. Now, another option I want to give to you guys that we have access to for our team are these trifolds. Now, in this link, this is the US version. We have a US version, a Brazil, and a Canadian at this point. If you live in a different country and you would like a version for your country, message me and we can talk about it, and we can put that in our toolbox of resources for everyone else in our group to be able to use. But this one here linked is the US version, and it's the trifold. Now, this is a really great simple class teaching technique taught by Lisa Zimmerman. She's a diamond, blue diamond now in doTERRA. She's wonderful. And what she did is that she decided she needed to make things so simple in her classes that literally anyone could do it. And truthfully, you guys, I teach most often from these trifolds these days because it is so easy. Now you can see from the first page, it talks about what are essential oils, how they're effective, why doTERRA. And it is as simple as I call on people to read it. Seriously, you guys, that's all I do in a class now. I say, what is an essential oil? So-and-so, will you read the first paragraph? They read the first paragraph, and then we talk about it. We conversation, we expound on it. Have you used essential oils? What have you used it for? Then we go to the next topic, number 2. So we go all the way through this. Once we get to number 4, how to use essential oils, then we jump to the middle. We talk about the top 10 essential oils. I let them smell them, try them. We talk about what they're good for, if anyone's ever tried one before. And then at the very end, we move on to lifelong vitality and the vitamins that they can use. You guys, it is that simple to teach a class in this way. I even keep these now as business cards. Whenever we travel, I get these printed off with my name on the front. You're going to be able to see when you download that PDF. You can put your information on the front, your wellness advocate number, because on the back are kits and how to get started through my doTERRA website, and you can customize that for yourself. But when I travel with people, you don't have time to teach them about the oils. Maybe if you give them a sample, you just meet them. Maybe it's a friend in a park. You can hand them this trifold, and it can walk them through exactly how to learn how to use oils. So you see how powerful this tool can be. These are all remade from Lisa Zimmer, so they're custom for our team. Mostly all the graphics come from doTERRA. They come from my personal stock, so you guys are welcome to use these as something that you can use in your toolbox to teach classes. If you find this way easier, you can certainly do it this way. Now, the next thing we need to talk about is being compliant. We need to be responsible in the way that we're sharing doTERRA with people. The biggest thing is that doTERRA doesn't heal or cure diseases. It's considered a supplement to our body. So it is taking our body from being good to better. See how we're not taking it from bad to better? We're taking it from good. So if you're at a baseline and your body's fine, we're just going to make it even better. So sometimes it's hard to kind of know how this works. There's an approved claims list link right here. You guys can see that the things that doTERRA has approved that you can say about the product. That means you can't say, if you use this oil, it's going to help take care of the big C word. Something like cancer. You guys, that is a no-no. We don't talk about things like that in doTERRA, especially openly in big forums with people. If someone wants to come to you privately and ask for ways that they can support their body as they're going through something like that, then you can share more with them. But we want to make sure that we're all doing it responsibly. So doTERRA will be around for years to come, and we won't be regulated by the same things that drug companies are. To tell you the truth, we don't want that. We want this to be readily accessible to anyone who needs it. So you're going to see here things like do refer to temporary emotions. So it causes you to be happy, reduces irritability, it cleanses, it improves the appearance. Things you don't want to say are things like cure, treat, repair, chronic, diabetes, autism, cold, flu. Those are all no-nos. We don't want to go there. Sneezing, coughing. We never want to substitute our products for a drug. So we never want to say, I threw out all my Tums and now I just use Digesten. You know what? That may be true. But you're making a drug claim, connecting it to an actual drug that has been approved. So that's a no-no. We're not going to do things like that. We're not going to try and tell people to get off medications. Ever, ever, ever. That is something always, if someone has a hesitation, they need to work with their doctor. We can give them research articles, we can give them books, but ultimately we let people decide for themselves what they want to do. We also can't imply disease claim through pictures or symbols. So something I got in trouble for once is I had a before and after. A friend's son had gotten in a bike wreck and he had this terrible road rash all down the side of his body. And within 3 days of using Hilocrism, It was next to nothing. It was incredible. And I had posted that picture, and I actually got a message from doTERRA compliance telling me that wasn't compliant and I needed to take it down. Now, the reason I'm sharing this story is because I want you guys to know you may make mistakes. You may try your best to be compliant and you may not be. So don't be distraught if they ask you to change something. Don't be distraught as you're learning and going through this, how you can talk about it. Sometimes it gets confusing. This will pretty much teach you the basic do's and don'ts, especially when you're posting online. That is one of the biggest things you need to be most careful about. When you're posting online, post responsibly. Make sure you take things from the approved claims list. Look to what you see other diamonds and above doing when they're posting stuff. And I won't lie, some of them are in the gray area and they try to push the bounds a little bit. However, look to them, see what you can and can't say, and you'll get the hang of it. It gets easier, I promise. When you're in a class, however, though, teaching, you can be a little bit more lenient. I'm going to be just straight up truthful with you guys. I don't say head tension in a class. I say the word headache. But online, I only say the word head tension. If that makes sense. That's one of our approved claims lists. You'll learn it. Don't worry. Don't be anxious about it. Don't be too worried. Oh my gosh, I don't know what I can and can't say now. Again, in a class, speak from your heart and just try to do the best you can to say things like supports the immune system, not it's going to help make your flu go away. It will, but we have to say it in a responsible way that's taking our body from good to better, not bad to better. So that's kind of how it works. Now, what I want you guys to do to practice this concept, because for a lot of people it's going to be new and it's a little scary and I don't want you to be intimidated by it. I want you to take the story you wrote in our Facebook group from week 1, where you could write whatever you wanted. I want you to now take that story and you are going to make it compliant. So think of the words you used in there. If you used words that have to do with a disease, think of a different way that you can talk about the disease in, unfortunately, temporary items. Like I had an occasional upset stomach, instead of saying something like IBS. Instead of saying a word like autism, she had problems focusing or paying attention or being present in class. These are temporary things that I know it's hard sometimes because I know they don't adequately explain what you were really going through. However, we have to be responsible when we share this. So what I want you guys to do, under this week, go ahead and post in our Facebook group your story redone, but compliantly. Because people in our group love to read those and they love to repost them. So let's all support each other. Write something out compliant that was your same story, rewritten to something that can be shared online. And let's let our people in our group share and blast it from the rooftops how incredible these oils are from the people you're working with. Now, at the end of a class, you guys, I told you I set that alarm. It goes off after 45 minutes, always. I never try and keep people over because this is why. At the end of every single class, you need to be sharing about the business. Now, this is a tool that I learned from Elise Chedevy when me and my husband went to the Czech Republic to one of her retreats, and this made such a big difference in our business. Now, a lot of times, doTERRA is beautiful because we lead with the oils. The oils are the biggest part about why we share so much, but sometimes we forget to talk about the financial healing also that these oils can bring to all of us. Now, I had met a really amazing lady there at our Prague retreat who raised her hands and she was in tears. She said that she had signed up over 400, guys, 400 people into doTERRA and did not have one business partner to do this with her because she didn't understand that you could talk about the business like this so easily at the end of every class. You guys, let that sink in. For me, I have signed up under probably 100 people and we are diamonds in doTERRA. If you do this correctly, you will be able to duplicate yourself and your business will grow because you don't know who's sitting out in your audience that day, praying and hoping and looking for the answer. And you have it, but you didn't share it with them. So at the very end of the class, I have the script broken down for you guys of exactly what I like to say to people. Now, usually you're going to find it at the close. That's next week. I share about, there's 3 kinds of people who use doTERRA: user, share, and a business partner. So this is what goes beautifully into that. But at the very end, at the business partner portion, I usually share with people. The last kind of people that we work with are business partners. Now, these are people who catch the vision of doTERRA. They're the people who feel that little race in their heart, knowing that these oils could change not only their lives, but everyone around them, and they want to become a business partner with us and do exactly what I'm doing today, just sharing from the heart about why these oils work. Now, if this sounds like you, I'd love to invite you to join us in about 10 minutes after the class. Just for about 15, 20 minutes, I talk about exactly what it looks like, how I went from being a wedding planner in the wedding planning business to earning as much as I did all year in 1 month now in doTERRA, just by doing doTERRA. So if you stick around after 10 minutes after the class, after we get all the questions answered, we'll be doing that for a quick 15 minutes. And you know I am a woman of my word, and I always end on time. So you know it'll just be a few minutes more. So if you're interested, I want to invite you to stay for that. Now, that's usually what I say to people at the end of classes. And what's really fun is I find we give people a 10-minute break. We go kneel by them. We ask where they're at. We don't make a decision for them. We don't decide what kit they want, but we do share it all with them. After that is done, it's really fun because some people are still deciding on what kit they want or where they want to go from here. But they secretly are sitting behind because they're intrigued by the business. And they want to see if this could be something for them, if this could be the answer that they were looking for. And I can't tell you how many people have stayed for the business portion of it because, one, they know I'm a woman of my word. I'm only going to be 15, 20 minutes at most because I was right on the dot with teaching the class. You see how important that is now to respect people's time and not go over. It is extremely important. Even in a 45-minute class, you are going to be discussing more than most of these people can retain. They actually say you only retain, what was it? It was under 10% of what you hear. So even if they only retained about 10% of what you heard from the class, a 45-minute class is still a long time to be learning bits about oils. So make sure you end right on time. Now with the business portion of that, make sure you click on the build guide. I walk through this guide, and this is why I told you at the beginning of the program that you may want to buy 1 extra pack of these. I typically hand this out to everybody left who is sitting there, and I say, while the rest of you decide what you want, we're going to go ahead and get started on this business half. We're going to be about 15 minutes, just giving a little overview about how this works. I hand it to everybody. Even the people who are like, oh, I don't know. Guys, they want to hear. They're still sitting there waiting. Hand them a paper. And then I go over the guide. I set the timer. So again, I don't go over my time. And I start with the story of the pipeline. I go into why doTERRA, our retention rate. I share the 5 ways you get paid. Now, during this part, it's very important on the 5 ways you get paid. Keep it simple. Don't go into too much detail. You may not know all the detail yourself yet, and that's totally fine. If they have a question, there's nothing wrong with saying, that's a great question. Let me find the answer for you, and I'll get back to you. So just know that that's okay. Unilevel is also really important. I love sharing this with people because it shows that people in doTERRA get paid most on the bottom than they do on the top, which really fosters a whole community of helping your team grow and build from that. And then go through and have them imagine where they see themselves. What would 500 extra do to their family? Maybe instead of hauling buckets, they could rely on that pipeline. I share the story about why I got started in this business. And then I invite them to fill out the list of 100 people's names that could be blessed by oils. Now, if someone is interested in the business, they will do this. And they will start filling out the back as you're talking. And you see those people, and at the end of your quick just presentation of how it works, you're going to make an appointment with them. You're going to tell them, in 2 days, I'm going to call you. And I need this whole list all ready to go. And we're going to come up with a personalized business strategy just for you of how we can make this work for you. You guys, there's something very powerful when people feel like you have their best interest at heart, that you want to serve them and you want to help create a business strategy just for them. Now, you might be thinking, I am just new at this. I don't even know how to create a business strategy. You guys, it's totally fine. It's okay, because you, my friends, know exactly what to do because you're doing this program. You know how to use the build guide. You know how to use a launch guide. And at any time, you all have access to this program to share with your people so they know exactly the things that they need to do to also learn the ins and outs of this business, and you will help them the entire way so it is personalized to them. So what I want to challenge you guys to do now is come up with your own business story. What brought you to this business? Why are you even here right now? What are you looking for? You want to paint the picture to them of where you plan on going. What made you look into doTERRA? What made you say yes? What made you want to go on this journey? Weave people into that story and let them see themselves making the same decision. Now, my business story is going to be different from other people's business story. And I have a lot of people that come back to me and say, I don't know how to write the business story because I'm not, quote, successful yet. I don't know what they imagine the idea of success is, because you took the first step. And so you are already down the road further than the people who are looking at you for guidance right now are. You guys, they are looking to you for the answer. So I want you to paint the picture of where you're going and where you both could go together with your business story. Now, if this still feels uncomfortable for you, if you're not sure what that business picture looks like, you can always borrow from an upline. And you have lots of people that you can borrow from. You can borrow my story, the Kirschbaum story, the Shedevy story. You have so many people in your upline that openly share their business story. You can find someone online whose business story spoke to your heart, and you can share that business story of why they're doing it until you're ready to form your own. But I'm telling you guys, even if you're brand new at this, after week 1, you should kind of have a vision of what you want to do with this and where you want to go. And that's what I want you to be sharing with people. So number 1, you need to share about where you are and why it wasn't working. Number 2, what was the breaking point? What made you decide to look at doTERRA or something else? Number 3, what drew you to doTERRA? What made you want to be with this company? And number 4, where have you or are you going from here? Remember, guys, you don't already have to be there to share your business story. Where are you going? Whose lives are you going to impact? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? And who's invited to go on this journey with you? Paint that for them. Help them want to come to you. Now, what I want you guys to do, I want you to write out your business story and share it in our builders group. Let us all know and share from each other and build off each other so they can come up with their perfected business story too. I'm going to post mine in the business group. I also have mine on my YouTube page. You guys are welcome to listen to and see exactly what I share with people about the business. Now, right here is my little Cliff Notes version on YouTube. You guys can click this video and it shares with you exactly pretty much what I say every time I do the business presentation. The business presentation has become one of my favorite parts of doing the classes. I can't say my favorite because I do love teaching about the oils too. When a light bulb goes off in people's head, it's just an incredible feeling. But I also have learned to love to always share about the business too, because I now have no question in my mind. Anyone who puts forth the effort, follows the guides, and does the exact steps will see success with it. I have no question now. I've seen it happen again and again and again. I've seen it happen to myself. I've seen it happen to my family. and I want to see everyone in our group that happen to too. Now, last thing, what if you don't know the answers? I touched on this just for a second. Remember, you're the messenger. The book is the expert, and the people who are there are the decision makers. They get to decide what is right for them or not. Have your books. Here are 2 options that you can say to people. One is how to phrase it to have them look in the book. The other example I have here is if you don't know the answer. You guys, it's okay to not know the answer. I have people ask me questions all the time that I don't know the answer, and I need to go back and research. And even sometimes I can't find the answer in the research about it. You guys, some people ask hard questions, and that's fine. If people want to know the chemistry of the oils, that's totally fine. I can link them to the chemistry, but that's not something to take time on in class. If someone is trying to disrupt a class, that's okay. You tell them, we'll talk, let's talk after the class. Let me get your email, and I will send you some information tomorrow all about it, you guys. Remember, take control of the class, and it's okay. Move on. These books are the experts. We are just the messengers. And if someone didn't share this message with them, how different would their life be? How different would your life have been if someone didn't share the message of these oils with you? Now, for your week 4 assignment overview, guys, make sure you're doing your check-in with your upline mentor 15 to 20 minutes once a week so you can stay accountable and find those next steps that you need to take. You need to study a new topic about essential oils every week. Now, this is really simple, you guys. At the very first week, we left a list of things you can do. You can read about a topic of the book that interests you or a health element you're currently working with. You can listen to any of the Empowered Success webinars. You can find a good YouTube channel. Brush up on some of your knowledge about the top 10 oils and how to use them. Maybe even write out how you would use them in a class. However that education looks for you, do something that interests you and dive in to learn a little bit more about the oils. I want you to read chapters 9 and 16 of the Success Principles. We're jumping around just a little bit, and the reading is a little bit lighter this week because I want you to really focus on finishing sampling to your 30 people. That was an intense goal that was given to you last week, and you have the rest of this week to finish it. So make sure you get that done. Now you're going to write up in your own words how you would explain lifelong vitality. Those are the 3 pack of pills. Again, if you're not taking those yet, add those to your LRP order for next month. You're going to want to try them and start getting a personal testimonial for yourself of what a difference they make when you're giving the body the nutrient it needs. Next thing, I want you to rewrite your beginning story, but compliantly this time. Take out any disease claims. Make sure that we're talking about temporary conditions and how the oils made you go from good to better. And try that out. Post it on the link for this week so everyone can share their stories and that we can start sharing it maybe with our Facebook groups or our friends' Facebook pages, Instagram. We can start sharing everyone else's stories in a compliant way. Now you need to continue to follow up with your list. That's going to be a really big one. Finish your sampling. And then lastly, write up your business story and share the business after each class that you are about to teach. So get comfortable with that. Open up that business form. Learn how to teach it within 15 minutes. Weave in stories. Weave in your business story that you're about to write. But practice that also to get comfortable. Now, if you guys have any questions this week, make sure to post it to our Facebook page. We'd love to help you out. Some people in the group are veterans and they've done this program before, and some are brand new, but everyone always has great information and great insight that they can share regardless of where they're at in this business. I wish you guys luck and good luck with week 3.